Good morning, everyone. I'd like to spend a few minutes to tell you what it means to me to be a member of the First Baptist Church family in Luther, Oklahoma. In order for me to do that, I'd like to give you just a little history about myself. I moved to the Luther area 22 years ago from Oklahoma City. I didn't want to raise my kids in the Oklahoma City area, and so I looked out this way and I found a little piece of land and moved my family here just before my oldest started kindergarten. And I was a member in Oklahoma City of a very large church, wonderful church, pastor, associate pastors, music minister, business manager, maintenance people, all professional people. So everything was well choreographed. It was a wonderful worship experience, but it was easy to just go to church there and go home and pay your tithes and not necessarily need to get super involved behind the scenes like we have to do here in smaller churches because everybody's needed. Well, I visited First Baptist the first time on a Wednesday night. My boys were invited to a pizza dinner, and I came over and attended the Wednesday night service. And right away, I enjoyed the way Brother Derek preaches straight from the Bible. He doesn't beat around the bush. He doesn't stray from the difficult subjects. And so I found it much to my liking, and I began to visit more and more often. Later in life, I met LaFonda, and I invited her, and we began to visit together. Later, we were married. Brother Derek graciously came to Stillwater, Oklahoma on a 105-degree August day and married us at Theta Pond there. And we became members then of the church here and got involved a little bit. I served on a committee or two. And then one day, everything changed dramatically for me. One day, one of our deacons asked me to teach a Sunday school class. Now, I kind of like keeping to myself. I'm very much an introvert, kind of a quiet, behind-the-scenes kind of guy. Don't like being the center of attention. So when he asked me to do that, I was, just apprehensive, to say the least. But inside me, I heard a small, still voice, and that voice said to me, "Terry, I want you to do this, and I will be with you there as you go through it." So, grudgingly, I did. In those first few classes, especially the first few weeks of those classes, they were terrible. They were atrocious. I'm still apologizing to people that attended my first Sunday school classes. But you know what I found? I found that the more that I did it, the easier it became. And pretty soon I found that I was actually enjoying it. I also found that the person that learns the most from Sunday school teaching is the teacher, because you have to prepare yourself for the lessons. And as you do that, you learn more than you ever teach anyone else. Well, just as I was getting comfortable with that, a few years later, I was asked to serve as a deacon in our church. And again, I felt that apprehension, that unworthiness, that fear, if you will, of being drug in to be the center of attention and serving in an area I wasn't comfortable. But I also felt myself being stretched out of my comfort zone, and I felt growth occurring. And so, again, I heard the small, still voice, and I accepted that call. And I found that as Brother Derek would ask me to pray, or to this day, when he asked me to pray, or when he asked me to teach a Sunday school class, or when he asked me to conduct a Wednesday night service on those rare occasions when he can't be here, I find that it's no longer a burden. It's not difficult. You know, when Jesus tells us that his burden is light, he is very much telling us the truth. In fact, we shouldn't even call it a burden, because it's such a blessing to do God's work. And I've found that as I've grown as a Christian, those things have just gotten easier and more fun and become more and more of a blessing for me. I look forward to many more years being here in this church. I know that I have an awfully long way to go still yet as a Christian, but because of the patience, because of the love, because of the kindness that my church family has shown me and allowed me to stumble through those first through awkward attempts at teaching and serving, because you have given me the opportunity to do these things, I have become a better father, I've become a better husband, I've become a better Christian than I would ever have been in my previous church setting and in my life before I came to Luther. Brother Derek and I like to kid around about someday taking a church ministry on a beach in Hawaii. And while there's little chance of that occurring, I can promise you this: if it did occur, this will always be and would always be my only true church home. And for all you've done for me then, for allowing me to serve, for allowing me to grow, I want to thank you from the very bottom of my heart. To all of you out there, thank you very much.